Hey guys, it's Mario here, and in this video I'm going to show you what is in my gym bag. So what do I bring with me to the gym? And you guys know that I do a bodybuilding type of routine most of the time. I also do some strength work. There's a lot of powerlifting equipment here as well. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a quick tour of my gym bag and some of the essential equipment that I really narrowed down over the years because I'm traveling all the time. You guys know that I'm switching country is nonstop and I'm always changing cities. And if I carry too much equipment, it just doesn't become like very sustainable for me. So I have to really pick exactly what I'm gonna carry with me. So the first thing I'm gonna show you guys, okay, so the gym bag itself. So I simply use a Samsonite bag that I use in general for traveling. So this is a 17-inch laptop bag. Although I have a 15-inch laptop, I still carry a 17-inch because I can put more stuff in it. So it's kind of my bag for everything. I carry this bag for pretty much everything and gym as well. So I don't have a special gym bag or anything like that. And further from that, like the most important thing, I guess, what most people are wondering is like, what belt do I use? Because belt is kind of that essential piece of equipment once you start lifting heavy. So I use a Titan support belt. It's called a Longhorn. This is a 10 millimeter, 4-inch belt. I was not an expert on belts, and then I was actually, okay, I need to talk to someone. I talked to a lot of people. I posted messages on forums, on boards, and people would say, hey, this is something that is like kind of a safe choice where you get a really, really solid belt. And if you do plan to ever compete as well, this is IPF approved, so powerlifting approved for competition. It's a single prong. I know this might not be ideal for you guys who are mainly doing powerlifting, so you'd be using the belt for like every single workout. So you might want to choose a lever. For me, the single prong is perfect. I just use this on my lower rep, kind of that, I guess 3 to 5 repetition range that I go into sometimes. Then I will use the belt, and it works fine. I mean, this thing is indestructible. Like seriously, this belt is gonna survive an apocalypse. It's crazy how strong this belt is. And I've actually broken it down pretty well as well because I trained a lot with it. And it's in my travel bag. It's actually quite heavy as well. So I guess most of my travel luggage, I mean, this is probably the heaviest thing I have, which is a little bit crazy. So I'm carrying this with me all around the world. This says like made by Texas belts. So this is Longhorn. Again, I'm gonna leave a link in the description below for all of this stuff so you guys can check that out. I would highly recommend you grabbing a belt, and I'm gonna leave an article down there that is written why belts are important for activating your core more, to getting more of that tightness, getting more stimulation. So I'm gonna leave that article as well there so you guys can kind of read that belt Bible, and then you can choose which belt. This is kind of my recommendation for everybody who's just going into this. I think this belt runs about $100 to $150. I paid 150 euros for it in Europe because in Europe it's actually a little bit more expensive. And I would highly recommend going for a super high quality belt. And this is definitely one of those that I would recommend. It's like a lifetime belt basically. So going further, what I have here is, again, some support. I'm using these Ray-Ban knee sleeves. This is really solid stuff if you are actually like experiencing any issues with your knees when you're doing squats, when you're doing leg movements. And I would definitely recommend grabbing a pair of these. They're actually quite expensive, but they're definitely worth the money. I was experiencing a lot of knee issues beforehand, and these definitely make a difference. They keep your knees warm, you warm up faster. They don't make you necessarily stronger, but they do make you safer, and that's the key here. So all of this stuff is basically for safety reasons. That's something like the belt. Tightens up your core. You feel a little bit safer, and it's a worthy investment because you're in this game for a long time. So these are Ray-Ban Blue Support 7084. So if you go on their website, you'll be able to find these. I'm also gonna leave a description. Links in the description below so you guys can check that out. Highly recommend you to grab a pair of knee sleeves, especially if you've been lifting for a while. If you're a complete newbie, you don't have to stress the equipment so much. I would say that this is not definitely necessary for you if you're just a beginner. You don't lift that heavy in the first place, so it's better to kind of get used to using without equipment. So I haven't used this for the first 2.5 years of training. Then I started using these and same for the belt as well. So going further, this is a thing that never leaves my bag, and it is liquid chalk. I use this one every single workout that I do. So I don't use any gloves for training. I don't use any of that. I use liquid chalk, and this thing is amazing. I bought it in Canada 6 months ago, and I think I already used half of it. And the website of this is liquidgrip.com. This is awesome. Like, this is the best fucking thing you can ever invest in when it comes to your training, because you're gonna get that solid grip, and you're also gonna build your forearm strength. You're also gonna be able to grip the bar better, and it pretty much improves every single like exercise that you do. Every single workout you can use this, regardless if you're doing bodybuilding, powerlifting kind of training. Even like on a bench press, they're super useful, especially during the summer when your hands get a little bit sweaty. The bar is like moving left, right. I mean, for safety, for more performance, for everything, liquid chalk, guys. Like, this is the key. Going further, we have my one and only resistance band that I use for warming up. And you guys see me do these warm-up routines where I use a resistance band. Super useful thing to have when you're traveling as well. You can implement it in so many different ways. I use it as a warm-up even on my off days. It's really cool to have one of these. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below for a similar one, because it's like not a special piece of equipment, but it's definitely useful to have. You can even do a home workout. You can do a whole workout with this thing, like arms, shoulders. You use it when you do push-ups. You can do all sorts of things. You'd be surprised how much you can do with just one single resistance band, especially for warm-up. Going further, we have wrist wraps. Actually, yeah, these are weight sleeves. Let's do these first. So why am I using these lifting straps? Like, why am I using weight straps? Well, look, if your grip is limiting you, for not just in terms of how much weight you can do, but also in terms of how much you can focus, and that is what this is for. So if I'm doing a back movement and I can't necessarily feel it, I use these to get a little bit more of that stimulation in my back, so I can get the forearm out of the way. And that's a problem. You know, I see guys, like a lot of guys are training and their forearms are getting in the way of them using the proper amount of weight and the proper amount of stimulation with simply that mind-muscle connection. So with these, the way I use them, I don't use them in the first exercise of the day, I don't use them in the second, but in the third exercise of the day, if I'm pulling, I'm probably gonna have to use these. Or let's say you're deadlifting, I'm pretty much gonna use this for all my max sets. You know, I'm not gonna overexhaust my grip, so the next day I have to do back, my grip is gonna be fried. So use it tactically. You always have, I would highly recommend having a pair of these. And these are from APT, powerlifting gear. Again, these are quite expensive as well. I think they run about $30, $40, which is kind of expensive for a simple like weight strap, but still, again, I think these a couple of world records were broken with these, so they're really solid. They can last you a lifetime pretty much. So I would highly recommend having some of these, especially for all of your pulling movements. You do want to have them. You know, your weight gets heavy. You know, after a while, weight gets heavy. I would say when you get into that range where you can already do like 15 pull-ups with your own body weight, you know, at that point you want to add more weight, and at that point you might be adding like 30, 40 kilos and like 80, 90 pounds. At that point, you do need these so you can do higher reps, because on higher reps, your grip will give out. And if the grip gives out before the back, you're running into problems. Further, these are wrist wraps, RPM. I think these are max RPM by tightness support again. Yeah. These are extremely useful for general use when you're doing pressing movements. So I'm using these on the overhead press, I'm using these on the bench press, I'm using these on a squat as well, because I put less pressure on my wrist, and I think these are a really good investment to have just to stabilize that wrist. And when you're using super heavy weight, you're definitely gonna notice a difference. One of these things is that there's many different lengths, and I would actually wish that I bought a little bit longer ones. I think these are 25-inch ones that like wrap around 25. I'm not exactly sure because it doesn't say on them, but I wish I got a little bit longer ones. So if you got a little bit longer ones, you can wrap it further around your wrist, and that's something that I didn't get it, but I mean, these are still useful, and I'm gonna show you guys real quick how I use these. So they go around here, and you can just rip them around. So you wanna grab a lot of your wrist with them. So you can just do like this, do like that, and you're pretty much good to go here. Some like to grip them even higher. You know, if you're doing like heavy weights, you want to do that. But mine are not long enough to do that. So that's definitely where I want to get a little bit longer pair, and that's going to happen in the future. Further stuff that I have here is less related to lifting, but more to just filming yourself. So I have two Gorilla Pods, big one, small one. This one is for my camera that I film my lifts with. This is for a phone. The reason why I would suggest grabbing these is to film yourself when you lift. So you'd be surprised how your form is a lot different, in most cases, a lot worse, at least in my case, than what I imagined it to be, especially when it comes to the bar pad. So I would highly recommend you grab a pair of these and then kind of look at, okay, what is my form? What is my bar pad? Am I going the most optimal bar pad that I could, especially in the squat, bench press, and the deadlift as well? You can see how your back is holding. Highly recommend you to do this. This is like a self-analysis kind of thing that almost nobody invests time in, and it's super, super important if you want to progress in terms of strength, if you want to get stronger, better technique. That is going to be it, especially if you also have a coach, which I do with my clients, is that I have them film themselves and then send me videos, and I do a breakdown of their form, and I give them suggestions what they should be doing to improve their form over time, and that's how they get strong really, really fast. So I would highly recommend you grab one of these Gorilla Pods. I mean, they go quite cheap, and they're super useful. There's these like magnetic ones as well, which I'm probably gonna get in the future. This one doesn't have magnets in it, but it's super good if you have a decent phone, or if you just have any camera that you can use. I would highly recommend grabbing a pair of these. That's about it. So I don't have any special kind of equipment. That's everything that I use is right here. Again, I'm gonna leave the links in the description below for you guys to check out. All this equipment is really nailed down. I mean, I couldn't probably do like with any piece of here. I would have to replace it with something else, because if I wanted to train without a belt, I would definitely notice a difference. Wrist wraps, again, knee sleeves. This is essential gear, right? This is really, really essential stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little tour of what is in my gym bag. Nothing really special. Don't stress which one to get. Get whatever is affordable for you, whatever is in your budget. You know, you don't have to get any special type of gear, but it's useful to have some of this as you've been lifting for a while. So I would recommend for guys that are lifting for like 6+ months, you know, if you're a complete newbie, you probably don't need any of this. I would actually recommend for a complete newbie to grab liquid chalk. You know, that would be the only thing, and this resistance band. That would be the only thing that I would really recommend a complete newbie to get. For more intermediate advanced guys probably already have all of this. Intermediate guys, definitely grab some of this stuff that you think you need. And that will be all in this video. So hope you guys enjoyed a little quick tour here. Let me know in the comments below, in the comment section, your questions, if you have any questions on any one of these, and if you're looking for recommendations on gear, which type of equipment to buy. If you're not sure between something, I can give you my opinion. I'm not like an expert or something, but I can give you my opinion because I do a lot of research on this, and I often get paralyzed. I'm not sure what to buy, what piece of equipment to get, and I usually ask other guys, but if you guys need an opinion, I can definitely recommend you some of the stuff from here. So hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to click that subscribe button below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.